Hi, Geekygirl here, also known as Rachel. I'm going to read a few from this book, Powers of the Girl. The artwork is amazing, and the inside's good too. We definitely need more geeks in the world. If there's one in particular you want me to read, let me know. Given my love of Hawkeye, we're starting with actually Mockingbird. Of course, very back of the book. Here we go. Mockingbird. Mockingbird is a biochemist, an adventurer, and a super spy. Meet a superhero with wit so snarky that they put mocking in her code name. She is queen of the clap back with a punch to back it up. But Bobby Morris is far more than muscle. She joined S.H.I.E.L.D. as a lab research assistant and ended up as one of the organization's greatest agents of all time. That's right, she's a super badass scientist. There is little Bobby can't do if she puts her mind to it. Her examination of the super soldier serum has changed the science game, and her work in the field as a spy and superhero has not received nearly enough credit. That's the hard thing about being a spy, right? You kind of need to keep a low profile. Despite this fact, Bobby has had a thrilling life peppered with a whole lot of weird romances. But just because she's had a lot of booze doesn't mean she's emotionally available. She's still kind of working on that. Hey, we're all still a work in progress, right? Bobby Morris was born and raised in San Diego, California before attending Georgia Tech, where she worked under the tutelage of groundbreaking scientist Dr. Will McCalvin. That's right, Bobby has been mentored by strong women from the start. Awesome. When Dr. Calvin was recruited to work on S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Project Gladiator in the Florida Everglades, Bobby followed to assist her advisor. Together, they hoped to recreate the super soldier serum. You know, the stuff that turned a scrawny Steve Rogers into Captain America. Bobby Morris was inspired both by the idea of the WW pioneering espionage vixen Mata Hari, so she joined S.H.I.E.L.D. Spy School. She was trained in a variety of fields from fighting techniques to subterfuge, graduating at the top of her class. Her first mission was to travel to a secret tropical preserve in Antarctica. There, she was to recruit the flowing, blonde-haired, loincloth-clad hero Kazar. Together, Bobby and Kazar scrapped with Nazis and other baddies, toiling tirelessly to protect the new incarnation of the super soldier serum that she had researched with Dr. Will McCalvin. But hey now, Bobby and Kazar's adventures in the jungle led to a romance between the two. You could say that the chemistry gave them chemistry. Though the two managed to keep the serum out of the wrong hands, their days as a couple were numbered. When the mission together ended, so did Bobby's tolerance for the hidden locale. She was just starting out as an agent for S.H.I.E.L.D. and wasn't about to give it all up for a guy, no matter how good he looked in a fur bikini and fur bikini bottoms. Mockingbird had a lot of other things to learn, but she quickly realized that her first loves were science and being an agent in the field. No matter how great the romance, there was plenty of fish with great abs left in the sea. For Bobby's next mission, she was hired by Congressman Kirk to root out S.H.I.E.L.D.'s corruption under the code name The Huntress. She used her new secret identity to infiltrate her own covert agency and reveal the true allegiance of several corrupt agents. In doing so, she found the real Nick Fury, who had been replaced by an LMD, life model decoy. She filled him, which you're like, sort of robot. It's, comic book science. He filled in all the missing pieces and gave Bobby his commendation for uncovering the secret plot. Though Bobby did right by S.H.I.E.L.D. and her country, her secret identity as the Huntress was compromised, and she was labeled an enemy of the state. It was easier just to swap code names and the costume. Taking on the moniker Mockingbird, particularly fitting because of her sass, and a new costume, she went to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. once again. However, some overzealous friendly fire left her convalescing in a hospital for 6 months. When she recovered, she turned down a S.H.I.E.L.D. promotion to go solo as a hero. To heck with it, right? Sometimes a painful event can really clear a person's mind and show them what they want. In this case, she realized she did not want to kick the bucket following someone else's order and agendas. A lot of good can come from bad things if you let it. Sure, Bobby almost died, but the experience gave her clarity to become the hero she wanted to be. And, there she is working on the science. Mockingbird would soon meet the Avengers archer, Hawkeye, also known as Clint Barton. Bobby's smart mouth wouldn't jive with Clint's less than trusting roguish attitude, but they were forced to work together against the attacks of the billiards-loving oddball, explosive bombshell, and sharpshooting crossfire. Though their union was reluctant at first, those two began to work in tandem and sparks flew. They soon discovered that their skills made them an incredible team, and an incredible couple. They eloped and had a bath in a heart-shaped bathtub because that's just what newlyweds do. It seemed Bobby and Hawkeye were coming into their own together, which is a sign of pretty good things. The Lovebirds joined the Avengers, but Avengers chairman, the sentient robot Vision, had other plans for them. They were sent to open a new chapter of the Avengers on the West Coast, in Los Angeles. During the team's skirmish against the time-traveling villain Kang the Conqueror, the West Coast Avengers got stuck in the Old West, encountering a villain called the Phantom Rider. He became obsessed with Bobby. Not like, OMG, you're so obsessed with me, but like, OMG, you're so obsessed with me. The Phantom gave her a brainwashing potion, and Bobby believed herself to be in love with the apparition. She even began fighting by his side. She didn't know what the heck she was doing, and it certainly wasn't making her husband happy. When the potion wore off, she returned to Hawkeye's side to rid herself of the Phantom Rider. During the tussle, Bobby let Phantom Rider fall to his death. Those final moments led to a great deal of scrutiny and strain between Mockingbird and Hawkeye. Hawkeye said he did not agree that a hero should let anyone die, even a villain. But Mockingbird was too traumatized to help the man who had brainwashed her. Phantom Rider had forced her to be his romantic partner against her will. Furthermore, Bobby always believed that it wasn't the villain's death, but her perceived infidelity that was the true cause of Hawkeye's anger. The Lovebirds divorced once and for all. Despite the couple's split, Hawkeye and Mockingbird would work together for years to come. Birds of a feather flock together, even sometimes after they get divorced. They still shared a great love and respect for each other. Just because a couple separates doesn't necessarily mean they have to hate each other. Some incidents are just better left in the past. Bobby and Hawkeye needed to let their relationship go, and Bobby's newfound singleness left her open to new and different adventures. Mockingbird still had her great loves, science and butt-kicking. Oh, and the butt-kicking was about to get a whole lot better. She was forever changed when she was shot by agents of an opposing agency called Hammer, and was treated with the super soldier serum Infinity Formula by Nick Fury. The Infinity Formula notably gave Nick Fury his forever young appearance and superhuman strength. Given the choice between life and death, there wasn't much of a decision to make. The formula was administered, and Bobby woke up good as new with some additional power-ups. She had increased physical prowess, agility, durability, and the ability to heal. S.H.I.E.L.D., however, didn't really know the side effects of the formula, so lots of checkups were required. But that's the price you pay for superpowers. Bobby took her newfound powers back to S.H.I.E.L.D., where she met the somewhat not good for long-term dating but totally dreamy and cute British accent fellow agent Lance Hunter. Some relationships aren't meant to stand the test of time, especially when both people are spies with secret missions and agendas. On the upside, Lance was still totally down to take on zombies or opposing super baddies when the ships were down, whether he and Bobby were dating or not. Bobby continues to kick butt and science by working with various superheroes like Spider-Man and the Unstoppable Wasp, and with biochem research companies. In fact, she mentored Genius and Action Research Lab Girl, making way for more young women who, like Bobby, want to change the world with science and heroics. After all, every girl could use a good mentor. So I love Mockingbird. I loved their dysfunctional relationship with Hawkeye. And I love that there is a new comic, Force Works, written by Matthew Rosenberg, that is out now that features a lot of our favorite Mockingbird. All right, that's where I'll stop today. But if you have someone else that you know that's in this book, let me know.